Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So this afternoon, George and I are going to start on a ditch project. We got a late start today because we bought a pontoon boat. We bought a pontoon boat in order to make things safer for working on the river. We used to use John boats and things like that, little flat bottom boats, but the problem is they're so tipsy out in the water. And when we're getting log jams and trees and stuff out, hanging out the sides of the boat, trying to get stuff wrapped around them, like cables and ropes and things like that, tipping the boat over can be a big hazard. So we decided to buy a 22-foot pontoon boat and strip off everything except the bare essentials on it so that we can use it as a work platform. So we've got that back at the shop. It actually got delivered today also. So we've got the 200-5 Hitachi here with the 72-inch diamond brush mower on it. George is going to start mowing any brush that's on this ditch. It's pretty light through here, but when we get farther down, it gets pretty heavy. And then I'm going to follow behind George with the 270 Hitachi-5, and I'm going to start dipping this ditch. I'm not going to take a whole lot out. The goal here is to straighten up the stream, which you can see it twists and turns and does all kinds of goofy stuff through all this grass. So mainly I'm going to be dipping the grass out and just a little bit of sediment. We're not going to get too crazy with this one because it's got a lot of flow to it. And through the deeper cuts down there, they're worried that the banks could potentially slough in. So I'm just going to take the bare minimum out. And really it doesn't need much dipped out because it's pretty deep through here. So it just needs straightened up a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to let George get ahead of me a little bit. And then I'll go get in the 270 and I'll start digging. Well, we got us a good start digging. George is quite a ways ahead of me, so that's a good thing. He's not too close to where he's throwing brush and stuff on me with the mower. Now remember, we're not taking much out. We're just taking enough out to get rid of the grass and shape things up a little bit. It is definitely beautiful weather for February 7th. Warm enough I can have the windshield open and the door open. That's what I like. That's perfect. We're just after a little bit of sediment in that grass. Straighten things up. Not too deep. Does it? See that chunk of wood there? Now I'm probably gonna have to go back through and dip some little snags out because things are washing down from the brush mower, which is fine. I'll do that on my way back out of the field here. Kind of cut that off nice. There we go. Some of these ditches you just have to take your time with them. Some of the big muck ditches you can just dig balls to the wall non-stop, throwing mud. But some of these you just got to take your time and shape them and not take too much out. Seaweed down there that stuff breaks loose in the current, and it flows down in clumps before I can dip it out. But the nice thing is it will congregate in spots, and then I just come along and get them back out. Like down there, you can see it's starting to clump up. Which it's fine, it's all part of it, it happens. Through that sand cut up there, and now we're down into where I like to dig. We're down in the muck. So as you can see, this ditch is going way out and around. So we're going to try to bring this back to the center here the best we can. We're going to get rid of those meanders that it's got. Back a little here. Just peel that out like so. Get that water to quit running behind there, and it'll firm up and won't do that no more. If it stays there overnight, it'll stay there probably forever, but if it slops in by tomorrow morning, we'll have to come dip that out. But once we get that water to quit flowing behind there, it'll quit cutting it out, and it'll stay there. As you can tell, we've got a lot more slop to deal with down here than where we started. We still have plenty of fall though. We've gained probably a foot of fall here. So we're making a big difference. Definitely going to help this farm. Now our friend Greg, he farms this farm. He's farmed it for years. And if you can keep the ditches cleaned on it, you can farm it no problem. But if the ditches start getting bad shape, then he starts having trouble. About 90% of this farm is low muck. Within the last 2 years, we've gotten all the ditches dug on this farm at least once. Or we've cleaned them all. They scatter it out over time. We don't do them all at once. I might make it to the end. We'll see what happens. Well, I got a little behind in video last night. We didn't get finished up here. We had to walk the 200 back to the road for some small minor repairs. Got them done. And now this morning we're going to bring it back. Uh-oh. Oh boy. It's soft out here. Should probably had the truck in four-wheel drive before this point. Let's see if we can get out of here. Well, we're still moving forward. There we go. I gotta love muck. Ah, there we go. Got to some firm stuff. So anyways, bringing the 200 back down. We got a little mowing to do yet. And then we got a little digging to do. And then we'll be finished here. So we got to go across this end a little ways yet. Down to where the ditch heads back to the south. And then we're done. Uh-oh, this is going to be rough. And we made it through it. There we go. Alright, got to check the 270 over this morning and then we'll get back to digging. Well, now that George is a little ways ahead of me mowing, I can start digging again. I'm going to start here about where I left off last night. Pick up a little fall, just sand washed overnight, get that dipped out. And then we'll start cleaning again. While I was waiting on George to get a head start, I contacted Elgin Buildings. They build the K buildings like Brian's farming videos just got Brian Brown on there. I contacted them because I'm interested in building a shop, and I looked at their display at the Fort Wayne Farm Show, and I was really impressed with what I seen. And after talking to the gentleman there, I think it's the way I'm gonna go, because a lot of it I can easily build myself, because it's steel frame and then you bolt 2x8s to it. 2x8, just, you know, your regular building material, wood, and then you cover it with your regular metal, and you can finish them out inside just like a normal pole barn shop. So I thought that was pretty attractive. Oops, we get the concrete work done. We get the steel frame put up, get everything squared up, then go through and bolt all your lumber in. So I think that's going to be the route I take on a building. A 40 by 60, like I want to build. I was talking to the gentleman there at the show, and he gave me a rough price of under $30,000. It was like $28,000 for the structure and all the metal and everything. I'm like, well, that's not too bad, and I can do 80% of it myself. So, darn sticks. Let's tuck that in. Now George touched that up the mower. Move that stream over just a little bit. Get it recentered where it originally was. We're gonna bring a chainsaw and cut that off. We're almost to the end. George has just got a few more feet to mow, and I just got to dig. Got another spot here that we need to kind of recenter up a little bit. Kind of over to one side. shape it where I want it. Looks pretty good. Just a little more off over there. There we go. Looks like there might be a spring over in that bank across the way there. A lot of water coming out of there, and it's got the bank all decayed and washed out. That too much so that don't slop in. Get it dried out, it might harden back up. Quit doing that. You can see over in there, there's quite a bit of water coming out of there. Let me get this stick out of here. It'll just slough in. This is kind of one of them ditches that needs to be dipped a little bit every two or so years, maybe every 3 years. And not a lot taken out each time. Trim that up a little bit. Just don't want to take a whole lot out. Not nearly as bad as it was. So we've made it to the end. A few more buckets and we'll have it. Then just gotta go through and dip whatever fell in or washed and congregated. Around here and goes into the other property. I'll follow this curve around. I'm going to take a whole lot out because, as you can see, we've got some problems over there. We don't want to cause any more problems than there already are. We'll bring that stream over this way a little bit. That way there's not so much pressure over there. Now when I say I'm going to straighten a ditch out, I don't necessarily mean it's going to be straight as an arrow when I'm done. It just means I'm going to get rid of these tight sweeping bends here. You see how tight that goes around? That causes problems. That causes turbulence. Now, when it just kind of gently goes back and forth, kind of, curves in and out, that's not bad. And a lot of times I can't remove enough material to straighten it completely out. Sometimes that takes time. That takes, a couple dippings over a period of time to do that, because you don't want to get too aggressive with it, or else you'll have a disaster like you see over there. And what looks like started to cause that was that tree fell over and that stump peeled out, and then we got some erosion started there, and it caused the issue. Curve a little more gradual. There we go. Much better than it was. Here, so I can't go too far. As far as we're gonna get. Go ahead and dip this out a little bit here. Do it a little shallower. So we have a nice transition. through there. That little spot through there I might straighten up just a little bit, shave some off of that side and kind of straighten that out, but looks good for the most part. So, well, thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to go work on the river next. So, we'll see y'all in the next one. Time to test out the new pontoon boat.